Welcome to Successful Toy Podcast, where we shine a light on the positive side of every journey. Our platform is dedicated to celebrating the success stories and unique experience of people from all walks of life, regardless of their fame or background. Whether you're a well-known figure or just starting out, the Successful Toy Podcast is here to share your story and inspire other listeners with your achievements and insights. Join us as we explore a diverse range of topics and uplift voices that deserve to be heard. Everyone has a story to tell, and we're here to listen.
Hey y'all, hey. So I'm back today with a conversation. And y'all know with conversation, we focus on mental health and mental health only. So today I'm going to turn the platform over to her so she can introduce herself and let the people know who she is. But don't give them too much because I'm going to hand over the whole platform to you to tell them everything about you at the end.
Awesome. I'm Alicia Farricielli. I am I guess you call it a quote unquote life coach, but that term is so overused. So I work with people and help them actually with their inner child healing and mindset, some mindset stuff, as well as some holistic health coaching. So that's pretty much what I do. I have my own podcast as well. So I'm very, very excited to be here and to speak with you today.
Ooh, you got to bring me on so you can pick my mind and talk about my childhood because I got a lot of things in my childhood that I'm healing from. Okay.
Yes,
we all in these streets. So you ready to get into these questions?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
Okay, let's go. Do you discuss mental health in your household?
Yes. My husband and I actually have a very strong conversations around mental health. I have a lot of childhood trauma that I've healed from since a lot of it mostly during our relationship. We've been together for almost 8 years now. So we definitely have these heavy mental health conversations. I'm very lucky to be married to someone who actually is open to having the conversations with me
Mm-hmm. Who actually will conversate with you about it, because some people are scared to talk about things in their past, and we try to hide it, because I was one of those people. It's just like, if I'm in a group setting and they bring something up and I can relate to it, I speak on it. But me just talking about my childhood, like, I'm not doing that. And then it's like, too, I never noticed things bothered me until I started going to therapy.
Yeah.
I used to just sweep it under the rug and think like, oh, I'm over it. I'm fine, until something hit me. But then when you realize your childhood has a lot to do with how you love and care for people.
Absolutely. Yes, it does. And we are taught to, especially generationally, every part, I think we're taught to sweep everything under the rugs. And I think it's the younger generation's getting a little bit better with it. They're speaking out, starting to talk with it. But my generation, I'm in my 40s and above, we were taught to sweep that under the rug. You put a plaster on a happy face. You're always happy. It doesn't matter what's going on. And if you're not happy, you just get over it. Without any type of steps, you just automatically just get over it and you move on. And life is that's just the way life is. And that's just such BS to me, that that life is not like that. We have our big and little traumas that happen throughout our lives. And if we don't address those, especially with our childhood, then they fester into bigger issues later on. And we wonder exactly why we're competing, repeating the same patterns over and over again, while we're going through the same things, while the same things keep happening to us. And we're victimizing ourselves in that. And it's not their people's fault that they don't understand that. And so that's where, I feel like we're here as a collectively to educate people and to tell them that your life doesn't have to be that way. It can be so much bigger and brighter if you're willing to unsweep those things out from the rug and just start to deal with them.
And that, that's crazy that you said that, because that definitely used to be me. I used to attract the same type of guys. I'm talking about same type of guys, just in different color sheet clothing. And it was like, why do I keep getting these type of people? And it was the type of person I was.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's, that's my advice is like, well, how do I, I don't do relationship coaching or anything with my clients. Typically I do to a certain extent, but that's not my main focus with them. But like, why could I keep going to these patterns? I'm like, well, it's because you have to change. You have to almost become the person that you want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be with someone who's caring and concerned, or do you want to be with someone who's full of drama? Do you want to be with someone who's mellow and takes care of their business and takes care of themselves? Or do you want to be with someone who always blames you and blames other people for things that go wrong with them? You have to become that person. And it took me until I finally became that person to actually have found someone that treats me like a princess. It honestly, it took me really going through that work to become the person that I am today. I'm not saying I have tons of work to do. We all do.
Right.
But I did a whole lot of that work on the back end to make our relationship. My husband and I have a really great relationship now, very open, communicative relationship. And in order to do that, I had to do the work personally myself, along with him. We both had to do a lot of work to become the people that we want to be. Yeah.
It don't take one person, it take both of y'all. Like I could be working on myself and you could still be a fucked up individual. And it's like, how is this gonna work when I'm over here, trying to do the right thing and correct some things, but yet you over here still a messed up person. And it's like, come on now. Make it work for both of us.
Yeah. And a lot of times we can't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
We have to look and own our portion of it too. We can't completely blame the other person over and over and over again. We have to own the decisions and mistakes that we make, and we have to make those choices and make those changes within ourselves before we start saying, well, they need to change, because we can't change anyone else. There's absolutely you can't change, and that's a beautiful thing, because the beautiful thing is you can
got to change. Because you want to change because you want to change. You can't change. No, don't be trying to change people. That's where you messed up at, when you try to change people. Because when you change somebody, you could be changing them for the worse.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. That's why I said that.
I think we all have.
How do you manage your own mental health?
Oh, wow. So I start my day off, and I actually just got back from a 3-week trip in Italy where I did. Yeah. And so I came back, and I'll use this description. It was a great trip. It was very exhausting because we did a lot, like went to multiple cities, did a lot throughout that 3 weeks. But those 3 weeks, I didn't really take the time in the morning because we were doing excursions, doing trips, doing all kinds of moving back and forth on trains. So I didn't take that time in the morning to take about an hour to do, I call my morning routine, taking care of myself. I get meditation, reading, some breath work, whatever I need to do. I'm talking finally to the higher power that I believe in. I didn't do all that. And so now I came back, I'm extremely exhausted, and I'm feeling that I've taken that time for myself. So that's how I really take my mental health. That's my number one thing. Like, that's my note. Doesn't matter what's happening that day. That's what needs to be happening. I need to take that time for myself. And if I don't take the time for myself, I'm mentally exhausted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's my biggest tip. Doing tons of journaling. I love journaling and writing, getting everything out. And it doesn't have to make sense. I can be anger. I can be journaling, writing something down and knowing that my perspective is wrong, but I'm at least getting it literally off of my chest and getting it out of my mind. Getting out of my mind instead of staying in my mind with it.
I said this yesterday on my show, because here's this journaling word again. Journaling just keep coming across my path. So I had to ask the guest yesterday. So I'm gonna ask you. You might say the same thing, but you ask the people. You can ask 100 people the same question, they're gonna all say something different. What is journaling?
It is expressing whatever is coming up to me consciously and subconsciously. I'll start off consciously writing something down, and then the more I go, I start noticing subconscious thoughts start coming up, and I'll just digging. Well, why do I feel this way? because this and this and this and this. And by the end of it, I've gotten to a point of the root cause, or what I'm really truly feeling and why I'm feeling that. 9 times out of 10, it's absolutely nothing that I've started with consciously.
Mm-hmm.
And I can use questions. I use general prompts sometimes. And sometimes I just put on some meditative music and I just start writing.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on the
So
mood.
you
And
just writing how you, I just say you just write on how you feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it could be start off on, and then I end my journaling every morning with at least 3 gratitude, because that's something I've actually started to pull into this press month, is starting my day in the morning. Immediately I wake up is, what's the first 3 things I'm grateful for in the morning? And then I'll also put that in my journal. And then I end my day with that too. Before I go to bed, before I close my eyes, it's like, what's the best 3 things that I'm most grateful for at this moment? And so that's what journaling is to me. It's just releasing those conscious and subconscious thoughts that need to come out.
Yes. When I tell you, I'm like, everybody I have podcast cousin. Her podcast is focused on That Was Her Globe. Her podcast is Verbal Tea. She focused on journaling. Like, she makes you write before you can even come on her show. And it's like, I hate writing. So I just wanted to know, like, me, myself, I just said yesterday, like, I'm going to look into journaling, because that word, God just keep putting that word in front of me. But it's like, I don't do things unless I know what it is, So when you ask different people, they say, oh, just write down whatever. And everybody's saying the same thing. Nobody said nothing different. Y'all probably just worded it different. But basically, it's write down whatever you did that day, or however you felt that day. And I feel like that would be really, really good for me, because Monday, for some reason, like, I felt myself getting depressed. And I'm like, I told my mate, though, I was like, for some reason, I'm feeling like I'm depressed, like I want to cry, I'm getting sad, I don't know why. And she was like, it's only a TV show. Because I was watching, I don't know if you're familiar with New Amsterdam.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it, though.
It's very, very good. So she was like, it's just a TV show. I was like, nah, I really don't think it have anything to do with the TV show, because it's like about the medical field and people in the hospital sick and stuff like that. I was like, nah, I really don't think it have nothing to do with it. But it probably was just making me think about my mother, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was like a cancer patient or something. And I just felt myself going into depression. But I snapped out of it. I didn't allow myself to go. But that would have been good for me to write, Could have wrote how I felt and let it go.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. All right. I'm going to start journaling.
Start journaling. Put some music on too. If you feel like you're stuck, and it doesn't matter, just start making a grocery list. And then you'll just start, just start writing. And it doesn't, there's no critique. It's for you. It's for your eyes only. And so treat it like it's your best friend, like you're talking to your best friend.
Because I also stated too, I figured this out like a while ago though, but I just didn't dwell on it. I figure out too, when journaling first was told to me, like, write down your thoughts and stuff like that. And I was like, last time I tried that one is when I was a teenager and I had a journey, and I was writing down everything that I did that day or how I felt. And my privacy was invaded by my mother. And from there on, it was like I never kept nothing, because I just hate when people violate my privacy. So I don't want to be writing stuff and then somebody go through my stuff and they read what I'm writing. And I'm like, it was for me. So I don't know how I keep that under control.
Just get a piece of paper and then get a shredder and shred the thing. Just shred it immediately after you're done with it. I mean, you don't really do that. I have, because that same thing happened to me when I was younger. When I was about 14 or 15, I had several diaries back then, journals, and they were gotten invaded. My parents very much, and I love my parents, but they did not give me the respect of the freedom that I needed to express myself and to be able to trust other people around me and things that I'm writing to not be read. And so I didn't do journal for the longest time. And I still have like PTSD almost from that situation. And so if I write something down, and I'll just burn it, literally take a lighter and burn it, which is such a good soul cleansing thing you can do. Or just get a shredder and shred it every single day. If there's something in there you don't want anybody to see, just shred it. You're just getting it off, literally getting it off your mind and off of your chest and getting it out there. Yeah.
Started talking to somebody and they're telling your business. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a new outlook on this journaling thing. Let's get into the comments. Globe said, yes, journaling is really tapping deep into your inner voice. It's a game changer. Man, when I tell you, I see now, Globe. Blemish Beauty Podcast says, yes, verbal tea. And she said, love that show. Yes. Verbal tea. She says, I love to pause shows and just write and explore the things in tragic. Ooh, that's why it took me forever to get through Black Mirror, LOL. Aww. And then she also stated, you can get a burn book toy. They're like journals designed to be burned when you're doing. Girl, where I could get that from? Send that information. I like that idea, though. I like that. What would you rate your current mental health status out of 10?
Probably an 8.5 out of 10. Because
that's high. That's good.
Yeah, I'm in a really good point in my life right now. Not to say that there's not days where I'm like at a 3 or 4, but overall about an 8.5. Continuously, I'm not quite at that 10 yet because there's always layers being uncovered and pull back on that. But I've did so much extensive work in the past 4 years that sometimes, not to sound, but sometimes it's like I amaze myself at like how much like I've pulled back and be able to see within myself over the past 4 to 5 years has been profound to be able to get to this point. And a lot of it's self-acceptance too, and just learning to trust myself with it.
I love that. She said an 8.5. Oh my God, that is beautiful. That's why when she said 8.5, I was like, oh, I never had no one on my show said an 8.5. They said 8 or 6. It was always 8 or 6. Nobody was never under a 6, and nobody was never over a 5. I had this one lady, and I really feel like she was lying. She was like 10. Like, I'm asking her these questions. She's just painting this picture like her life was so perfect. And I'm looking like, yeah, that's that.
When you hit a 10, it's going to be knocked back down because you have another lesson to learn.
I was just going to say that. Like, do you really feel like people really can be 10s? Do you really feel like people can be a 10 for real? Because everyday life hits us with something. Ain't no way you're a 10.
You might be a 9.95, but to be a 10 is like there might be very few people out there. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but there are very few people out there. I'm talking like gurus maybe of people that are at a 10. But they have to really get honest with themselves. Even people who are the highest like meditation teachers, spiritual advisors, they'll tell you that we're not a 10. Because there's always something that happens that peels those layers off, and there's always something. And then you wake up the next morning and somebody yells at you, or you have as women we have hormones going on all the time. So there's always something. But you can truly be happy. As mental health at a 10, but to be truly happy, you could be truly happy and have a mental healthness of 6, 7, 8, and still be happy. Yeah. You just know that there's something mentally that you need to always to work on. And that scares people at times, thinking, well, I'm never going to be at a 10. It's okay. We're not supposed to be at a 10. That's why we're here, is to learn and to grow. And if we think we're at a 10, we're stopping that growth process. And that's never a good place and space to be in. Never,
ever. You see what Globe said? She said that 10 is delusional.
Yeah. I mean, Disney. You first walk into Disney World, as a kid, maybe that's a 10.
Right. You have no worries in the world. So yes, you probably a 20 when you're a kid.
Yeah,
you have no worries,
also
no stress, no nothing. Exactly. Yeah. We're going to quick break, and y'all marinate on that until we get back. The song we're gonna get into is called Out the Blue by Keyblade the Dun. As soon as I can find it, okay, there you go.
Keyblade the Dun. Suddenly, not all these bitches wanna fuck me. Suddenly, I'm a young nigga getting money. Suddenly, not all these niggas wanna hang with me. It's crazy how I'm in the wild, but I keep that thing with me. Suddenly, not all these bitches wanna fuck me. Suddenly, I'm a young nigga getting money. Suddenly, not all these niggas wanna hang with me. It's crazy how I'm in the wild, but I keep that thing with me. It's crazy, right? I know it's crazy how all these bitches wanna fuck me, they tryna have my baby. Ironically, the nigga got played that try to play me. I'm a big nigga in Paris, but I'm not Jay-Z. No, I'm not Ye, but I still be precious shit like what he say. Hell nah, he can't come this way. Chopper shooter HD, put his ass on display. Like where he play, that's exactly where he lay. Hit my knees, gotta pray before I lay. Thanking God for every day, cause he got a nigga straight. Now these bitches wanna play, why these niggas wanna hate? Fuck it, grab a cake, then I get the spraying at his place. They say I'm an asshole, but I don't get no fucks. Give a bitch long dick like a semi-truck. If a nigga wanna play, we got the semi-tuck. I got my money up, so tell them run it up. Suddenly, not all these bitches wanna fuck me. Suddenly, I'm a young nigga getting money. Suddenly, not all these niggas wanna hang with me. It's crazy how I'm in the wild, but I keep that thing with me. Suddenly, not all these bitches wanna fuck me. Suddenly, I'm a young nigga getting money. Suddenly, not all these niggas wanna hang with me. It's crazy how I'm in the wild, but I keep that thing with me. Keep low.
Yes. Suddenly. We're gonna get into these comments. We have comments while we was on a little break. I need a producer. I need somebody because I'm tired of doing this all by myself. I need a team. God.
I feel it. I know. I keep saying
I gotta take the cover off. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. God, need a team. God, help me. Hello, Black Mama. First time getting to tap in. Yes, thank you for tapping in. Bless the podcast and bless the chat. Thank you so much. You just heard me. I need God, girl. I need a team. I need him to come work, honey. Do you struggle a lot with mental health issues?
You know, I'm going to say yes and no. There are days that I do struggle with the same issues over and over again, and I get frustrated with myself. However, I'm very easily quick to get myself out of that. There are days, I'll maybe spend, a couple hours, be like going back and like get extremely angry from childhood, way I was raised. My voice was not able to be heard. My inner child starts acting up. And acting up. But I know how to calm her down now. And so I'll speak to her and talk to her. And then I'll be able to recognize. And a lot of times I will pick that journal up and start journaling out exactly what I'm feeling. And then asking questions. Why do I feel this way? And then I'll play the victim side of it. I'm such a victim on this and this and this. And then by the time I get through with it, I've calmed my inner child down. And she's okay. And she's felt safe and secured, and she finally feels heard. And that's really what she wants, is to feel heard. Mm-hmm. And so when I feel like I'm getting frustrated and I'm like losing patience and losing my temper with people, either I'm extremely tired, I haven't rested, haven't taken the time that usually goes back because I haven't taken the time for myself, or it's because my inner child is acting up and there's something that's triggering that's happened, or somebody has said something that's made me feel very insignificant within myself. And so once I can bring her out and give her the confidence and the safety that she needs, then I'm in a much better space. And that's why I say it's an 8.5, because most of the time I'm good. But there are those times and those days, because I'm only human. We're all only human. And so there are those times and days that it'll act out. And you'll need some extra love. Yeah.
Black Mama said they're not going anywhere. So you have to learn to help heal them and reciprocate. the past. I never thought about that, y'all. So I wonder when I used to be acting out recently, a year ago, was that my inner child?
Probably.
I never like thought about that.
Yeah. A lot of times when we're feeling jealousy, when we're feeling not confident, we're feeling unworthy, when we're feeling competitive as females, you find a lot of competitive females. It's because their inner child screaming because they didn't get that that confidence as a child. When we're feeling lonely, when we're feeling anything, all these, and our inner child can feel joy and happiness and too. So it's not just, it's literally like you were as a child, 2 or 3, 4 years old.
Right.
So go back to those times, and notice those patterns. When we're starving for attention, it's because we probably didn't get that as a child. And it's not we're not dissing our parents. We're not saying we had horrible parents because it's our responsibility now to take care of that. It's not our parents' responsibility. They got us to this point. And so we can't go back and blame our parents anymore for what that was, but we can parent our own child and we can give it the love and the compassion and the attention that it needs.
That's crazy, y'all. I never even thought about that. She said, we all have facets of ourselves and personalities and each tweaking. Yes. I never realized that. OMG. See, this is why I love my podcast, and I'm glad I don't focus on one thing because I learn something new from each one of my guests when I do interviews with them, for real. Whoa, that was deep, y'all. Now I have to digest this because I'm thinking back on the things that I've done. I'm maybe because sometimes when you feel like this, not you doing this, that be your inner child.
Well, you are connected to your inner child, but there's certain different parts of you. And there's an inner, and I call it a teenage child, and we have our adult child or adulthood. So we most of the time act in our adulthood. Most of us do. Some of us act completely in our inner child because we haven't healed any parts of it. Your inner child it's imagine having a little child with you at all times. Annoying. Most of the time annoying, but most of the time if they're as a child, they're a well-behaved child, but every once in a while something triggers them that they feel unsafe, and your inner child feels unsafe. So when you feel unsafe, when you feel jealous, when you feel anger, when you feel like the world's ending, that's because you don't feel safe. And it's really hard, especially in this society and culture that we live, for us to feel safe. I'm not going to get into all the chaos going on, but that's a lot of it too. So now is a very, very important time in our lives to start calming and making the inner child feel safe, because they don't feel safe. We don't feel safe as a country, as a society, as a world. There's so many things that don't feel safe in this world, and your child feeling that. So just imagine that child, you're holding its hand, and it may start to run away. It's scared, or it may start to jump up and down and pitch a fit because it's angry. What would you do for that child? You would calm it down. Be like, if it's scared from something that's out extraordinary, you would calm it down and say, it's okay, it's safe. I have you protected. You're going to be okay. Or if it runs away, it's you catch that child and be like, I've got you protected. So that's what you just hold, literally holding your heart and protecting it.
Yeah. Breaking the Silence said, that is deep. Your inner child has not healed. I never thought of that way. I'm telling you, I never think about it how they putting it. I love this.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same. I was concerning men I allow in my baby. Girl, we ain't gonna even talk about that, honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking that silence, say, I really feel my inner child is still suffering at times because of track. Yeah. She's waking me up. It's that's definitely what it is.
Well, it's great. We get scared, but the thing is, once we realize and know, and realize, you can come back and be like, that's just my inner child. I'm really safe and I'm okay. It's really just my inner child screaming, and let me give it a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
And things are going to be better. Instead of being like, I don't know why I'm doing this, and this. Once you realize that, it becomes so much easier and simpler to find the joy and peace in your life. And that's where the true healing starts, is like recognizing the patterns that we're doing and recognizing the things that are within us and what's causing us to do those things.
Right. Do you think stress impact your mental health?
Absolutely. I'm a very high functioning ADHD person. I refuses to take medication anymore for it. So I get stressed out. That's why I do meditation every day. Meditation's my jam. I actually teach it, like, it's between journaling, meditation. That's it. If it wasn't for that, I would say I'm high strung all the time, constantly go on that hamster wheel. But now that I've learned to take myself off that wheel and to spend some time and just slow down, my stress level has gone from like a 9 or a 10 high anxiety to 4 or 5. Sometimes it hits a 6. When it hits that 6, I stop what I'm doing and start slowing down, because I do not want to be on that same place or was before with stress. Yeah. There's nothing I find in my life that's worth stressing about anymore. There are things that happen, and it's just changing perspective. It's like changing your perspective about it. So it's worth my stress and my health. Yeah.
Do your personal finances affect your mental health? If so, how?
So yes, full disclosure, that's something I've worked on this year. I'm luckily in a good financial state right now, but I tie money with self-worth very highly. And I would say that's a pattern that was given to me growing up in a way, but I was a single mom for so many years. And I was on the single mom struggle for 10 years. My kids are grown now. So they're luckily financially independent on their own, functioning. I don't even pay any of their bills anymore. So very, very lucky that I'm very, very proud of them. Very, very proud of them. But it's still that high, tying that money with worth thing is something. That's what that's the layer I'm building up, turning off now. That's my inner child still screaming for attention, because when you have money, you get attention. You can buy, you can do things and go places and do things for attention. Business success is associated with money. Every type of success is associated with money. Joy, happiness is sometimes associated with money, but I don't believe that's that brings you to that state of point. You can have all the money in the world and still not be happy.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's still a struggle. I'm not. Some of them. Yeah, I'm luckily in a position now that I don't have to worry about that, and I'm very thankful and blessed for that. But I still struggle with the deep down traumas of money and mental health. Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a little quick 1 2 1 2. And this song we're going to get into is called Island, and it's by Scoop.
Yeah. Big Potato. Havoc. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. I got my hands on her body. She fine and she look like a goddess. She wanna smoke, so I give her exotic. Baby, let's take a trip to the islands. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh-wee, little mama said she want me. Staring at my neck cause she said it's icy. Now I got her panties wetter than a jet ski. Fuck a Benny Hanna, little mama a Tatiana. Coconuts on her chest while I'm sipping pina colada. She hot like a sauna, bust her open like piano. She give me good brain, yeah, medulla oblongata. We rolling in the sand, got a call from Doobie Dan. He say, ayo, you the man, bad as shorty, hit a friend. I'ma do that shit again. Came together, Siamese twins, wetter than the ocean. The island I play pen. I got my hands on her body. She fine and she look like a goddess. She wanna smoke, so I give her exotic. Baby, let's take a trip to the islands. Don't be modest, baby, we vibing. We smiling, no flogging. She think I'm fly, well I must be a pilot. If so, well, let's go to the islands.
my mode. Let's take a trip to the island we on go. Show you better living, see you working on your own. Life's what you make it, we ain't gotta live it cold. Let's turn up. Private beach with our toes in the sand. Got some drinks in our hand. Shawty, let me be your man. No lie, we can spend a couple bands. Know you want designer brand. Let me ice you if I ban. Go ahead and go and change your life. In a different zone, bet you rolling by the night. Long stroking, I can show you how I pipe. But the man wanna go, we can slide.
I got my hands on her body. She fine and she look like a goddess. She wanna smoke, so I give her exotic. Baby, let's take a trip to the islands. Don't be modest, baby, we vibing. We smiling, no flogging. She think I'm fly, well I must be a pilot.
Yes. We have comments before we get into the next question. Y'all is tearing up the comments, baby. I got a text message saying this episode is on fire. Okay.
I love that.
You touching some souls today. You touching some souls.
Good. That's what I'm here for.
My Winning Circle cousin, one of my podcast cousins, said a Winning Circle tour. That means they need you on their platform too.
Beautiful. Reach out. I'm happy to.
And the Breaking the Silent podcast said this will get me crunk on my episode today. Period. Great conversation this afternoon watching from Tennessee. Thank you.
I'm from Nashville. I don't know where in Tennessee you are, but welcome, Tennessee.
You in Tennessee?
I'm in
you in Tennessee
now.
too?
I was in Tennessee, Nashville, but I'm in Florida now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm from Florida.
Oh, really? I'm in St. Petersburg.
Oh, girl, you up north. I'm south. I'm down south. But I'm in North Carolina now. So
Also.
Yeah. She said, I can see you dancing to this toy, girl. You know I was back there. I got my hands on my body. Breaking the Silent podcast say, yes, the Winning Circle wants you. You are awesome. So, girl, you got the Winning Circle podcast. You got the Blemish Beauty podcast, Verbal Tea podcast. Who else podcast? Who else wants you?
Let me know. We'll do it.
I will give y'all her information. I definitely will give y'all the information. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling great. I mean, like I said, I just came back from 3 weeks of first time in Italy. Got to see a culture that completely slows down. They shut everything down from about between 1 to 4 o'clock p.m. Most shops are closed. Restaurants are open. They don't serve dinner until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So they take all, and I'm a very early eater, early to bed. So it was a good slowing down for us. Got to see the pride that that the Italians take into their appearance. It's not a vanity. It's just like how they're proud of who they are. It's a confidence that I see, especially in Rome, that would just fascinated me because especially in Florida, we don't see that. I mean, you sure you understand. It's like people running around in like whatever sweats, and when I'm not dissing that, I'm the same way too. But just the pride and the confidence that they showed, and then the kindness that people were super kind there. They said, Italians they're actually very, very kind people.
For real?
Yeah, I just had such a great, and then the culture, the arts, the wine, the everything was just, it was fascinating. It was fabulous. So I'm really good today. I'm tired from jet lag, but good.
I'm adding that to my bucket list. Go to Italy.
Go to Italy. Go to Florence. Florence was my favorite. It's just
go to where?
To Florence.
Okay.
We did Florence. We did the Amalfi Coast, but Amalfi Coast was so crowded. Loved it, but it was still crowded. I'm ready to go back to Florence. I just loved it, and then everything's so like historically old. I know they laugh at us in America because they're like, oh, things. I'm just like, wow, this was like BC, before, and all kinds of. It's just fascinating to see all the ancient civilizations that used to exist, and Pompeii, like being wiped out, and they dug it. It's just very fascinating to see how resilient we are as actually humans, and how much we can overcome and come through. Yeah, it's very cool.
She said, I just want the garlic bread and other cuisine, but mostly the bread. How was the bread? Was the bread different from here? Like, how was the bread?
Garlic bread doesn't exist in Italy. The pizza's different. Everything's different. There's no garlic bread. That's an Italian American thing. However, I'm gluten intolerant in the US. I can't have it. It makes me sick. I went to Italy and I ate every single thing and was not sick. I was like, I have gained 1 pound of water weight the entire time. I ate pasta. I ate croissants. I ate pastries. I ate all of it and did not. It just goes to show how clean their food is compared to ours. I was fascinated. If I ate a bite of that stuff, I would be like sick. So,
and I bet you that pizza was so good. It don't even taste
it was not like nothing. I don't even want to eat pizza here anymore. Gluten-free one, but just because it's
crazy.
Amazing. Yeah.
Wow. What's taking up most of your headspace right now?
Oh man, growing my business, I've got so much stuff going on. I'm working on my doctorate of metaphysiology right now, trying to finish up the bachelor's portion of it. Yeah. So it's like usually 1.5 year program to get it done. So trying to get that done, taking my headspace, just all the stuff, projects I want to add on that I know that I don't need to right now.
Why we like this? We know we don't need to be doing it, but we can't help it because we got to do it, and that's what we want to do. Like that is crazy.
Yeah. So
they said, "Come on, Dr. For real, snap your fingers for her, baby."
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, to have that. Learning so much good content. So,
how have you been sleeping?
So I've struggled since I was about 18 years old with what they call a sleeping disorder. And I have taken it for about 10, 15 years. I took all this medication to sleep. And I still take some stuff to sleep, but I struggle with sleeping and my brain doesn't shut down. And so I have to, meditate, I listen to music at night. I take tons of supplements. My doctor's got me on some hormonal stuff to help with a lot of this too. But yeah, if I usually sleep about 6 to 7 hours a night, interrupted sleep. Yeah. So I function a lot on, and for years, it's getting better though. I function a lot on just cortisol, I guess, which our cortisol levels are fine, but I've just functioned on very little sleep and got so much stuff done. But sleep is very, very, very important to me, super important to me, because if I don't sleep, then I don't get half this. I don't have half the energy to do anything. So I don't get accomplished. I feel grumpy. I'm tired. I'm not the kindest person sometimes. That's my husband. He's like, oh no, she didn't sleep.
Move out her way, y'all. She ain't getting no sleep.
Yeah. But a lot of it is, I struggle with restless leg syndrome. I struggle with some, autoimmune disorder. So that has a lot to do with it, but yeah.
She said the Sandman stepped out on me and I don't even get side piece satin. Girl, what? We gonna go on our last commercial break and then we'll be back with our final question. I ain't gonna lie, this episode is really, really good. I learned a lot and it's like weighing heavy on me for real, y'all. So we're gonna talk about that when we come back. So let's get into Chopper Chopper by Keep Loaded Done.
Fire in the fucking booth. Fuck a nigga. Keep Loaded motherfucker done. I'm in this bitch glitching right now and I'm feeling myself. Hey, fuck her on the we gon' Chopper. Let's get it. Fuck her on the we gon' run him down. Put his soul in the air and put his body in the ground. Chopper, I was off to finish off, cause you gon' trip or you gon' drown. If a nigga says up, I'ma take his ass down. Fuck her on the we gon' run him down. Put his soul in the air and put his body in the ground. Chopper, I was off to finish off, cause south, you gon' drip or you gon' drown. If a nigga say it's up, I'ma take his ass down. If a nigga say it's smoked, I'ma tell him pass the hookah. On the interstate where yo got me looking out for troopers. And these niggas claim they ballin', but ain't never seen them hooping. Only trusting my day ones, we ain't doing no recruiting. If your money speak with me, you ain't doing no recouping. Talk about a refund, make my niggas go and shoot. That nigga bred the computer, cause I swear he always boot. If yo shad, then on Kobe, watch me fucking alley-oop it. I go stupid, I go dumb, all up in your bitch. Put my thumb in the bun while I'm pulling on the buns. I'm the one, she know I'm not the 2 nor the 3, but up from the 3. It's gonna take a whole lot of money to get rid of me. Fucking killers kids, bitch, we chopping down the family tree. Chop up, make a beautiful noise, ooh, say to me. You'll be on monkey bars and you niggas still can't hang with me. Rada, chowder, how I'm feeling off the beanie wings. Fuck a runner up, we gon' run him down. Put his soul in the air and put his body in the ground. Chopper, I was off the spinning stock, but you gon' drip or you gon' drown. If a nigga says up, I'ma take his ass down. Fuck a runner up, we gon' run him down. Put his soul in the air and put his body in the ground. Chopper, I was off the finish off, but you gon' drip or you gon' drown. If a nigga says up, I'ma take his ass down.
Yes. Oh, and this episode is sponsored today by Shiesty Apparel. Make sure you guys follow them on Instagram at shiesty.apparel. Because, baby, I be forgetting to shout them out. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I be forgetting. I be like the logo right there. But, yeah. Breaking the Silence says... Yes, this episode has been so refreshing. Yes, and when I say it's heavy because I never knew, y'all, and I'm 45 years old, and I never knew about the childhood thing. Never knew.
Oh, I didn't learn till I was 40. So yeah, and I'm 44.
So I don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad. It's not something that we're taught, and we're told when we go to, we go into therapy. It's like, we're going to talk about what makes you feel this way, but it's never, most therapists don't address that. They teach you enough to keep you hooked. Mm-hmm. So you keep coming back. And so that's the difference in that, and like working with a coach, as a coach tries to get you to a certain point to where you don't need the coach like you need a therapist. Now I work with therapists. I'm full disclosure, I tell everyone I have a therapist I work with, but she's more like a coach to me. Mm-hmm. And I go and I once a month and just unleash on her everything that I need and I'm like, okay, well, I'm good now. Like, we talk through a couple of things. Yeah. And I'm like, I know this perception is not right, that I just need to get it off my chest.
Right.
Someone who doesn't like, a non-judgmental status. So I'm not dissing therapy at all. However, you're not always.
No, I love me some therapy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not dissing it at all. I'm just saying that a lot of times that's what we're told is like, hey, if you have an issue, you go see a therapist. But the therapist may not also be trained or know, like, your inner child is what's talking to you. Mm-hmm. We're told to have a solution until we get deep down into what's really there within ourselves. Then that's when we start to see ourselves shine, because we can try to have a solution, but if we don't really know how we got ourselves to that point, which therapy does help with that too. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Yeah.
But really getting into and finding the right person who works with you, like inner child work, and brings that out inside of you, but doesn't keep you stuck inside of that, because we don't want to stay stuck in the past. Mm-hmm. We don't want to blame our inner, like, it's because of my parents, my childhood, all this stuff. We don't want to blame our parents, do that, because we need to get forward. We need to move forward. We don't need to stay in the past.
Yeah, I'm definitely healing from my past. Little bit by little bit, I'm healing from my past. But it seems like every time I talk to, like you just said, the coach word is just oversaturated. So yeah, every time I talk to what we gonna call them instead of saying coach, because it don't been a lot of coaches on my show. So what we gonna call them instead of saying coaches? Because like you said, the coach word. So
yeah,
I learned a lot from each one of y'all, and it'd be like, when I go see my therapist, I would be talking to her about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, why?
Yes, absolutely.
My inner child. Inner child. I just found out my inner child, she ain't healed yet. Because,
acting up today.
Right.
Yeah.
Breaking the Silence said, is it hard to cover those scars it is hard to cover those scars every day, I am just applying the band-aids, but I'm not healing. Oh, that's not good.
Sometimes you have to rip it open a little more. As bad as it sounds, it's almost like doing surgery on it. You got to rip it open a little bit more, and you got to feel that pain. There's no way getting around not feeling the pain. We don't want to feel pain. Our body is like naturally protects it. Our mind, our ego protects ourselves from feeling that pain. You got to knock that out of the way and say, I'm willing and accepting to feel this pain and to walk this journey and to take the Band-Aids off and just let that naturally heal. And then take the scars and use those for a positive thing. Use it in part of your healing. That's part of your story. We want to take the scars away. Scars are a beautiful thing because it shows you where you've gotten throughout your journey and how far you've come.
And trust me, it feels so good when you start your healing journey. I promise you, I swear to you, nothing and no one will affect that healing journey. I promise you, you won't even allow them to. It feels so good when you start that process. Trust me. Trust me, I know. I started mine in November of last year. And when I got on that healing journey, it felt so good. I seen life different. I understood things more better. Oh my God. You're going to feel like a whole new different person. I promise you.
Oh, yeah. You're going to enjoy life.
Well, what did you do today that made you feel good?
Oh, I took a 30-minute nap. And I never do that. I laid my head down for this podcast and I passed out for like 30 minutes.
Like I took a 30-minute nap and it felt good. Okay.
It felt so good.
I love that, man. I love that. You know, laughter is fun. It's fun. You need to laugh sometime.
Yes.
So I want you to I'm gonna step off the podcast, off the platform, and let you tell the people how they can find you, tell them about your podcast, everything that you want them to know about you, let them know about you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening in. You can find me at my first name, last name.com, AliciaFarricielli.com. Reach out. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. You type my name in. I guarantee you I'm the only one that'll show up with this name as well. My podcast is the Intuitive Revolution Podcast. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and pretty much all the platforms available. So I go through and I have guests that come in to talk about things on a spiritual basis to holistic health. I go in and talk a little bit about how to tap into your intuition. And then coming up, I'm going to do an inner child series on my podcast. Also, I'm coming out with a new journal, with an inner child journal that will be available on Amazon, hopefully by the end of this year. So yeah, that's how you can reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. Any questions that anybody has.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I definitely want that inner child journal.
I'll let you know when it's available.
And I'm going to start journaling tonight. And y'all said burn it after I finish. Yes, I will burn it in the morning when I wake up. I'm going to add that to my routine. Once I wake up, read my Bible, read my word for the day, get prepared mentally for the podcast. And I'm going to go outside in the backyard and I'm going to burn what I wrote the night before.
And when you burn it as a releasing, like I'm releasing all of this out.
Okay.
As an intention to release it. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Verba T, man, you got to talk because I want to know why you wasn't on my neck about journaling. But I want to say thank you for choosing Successful Toy Podcast to come on and talk with me about mental health and things like that and letting us into your world a little bit. You're welcome back anytime.
Well, let's do a 102 version.
For real, because this show, I'm not gonna lie to you, this was really, really good. Like you opened my eyes to a lot of things. So when we get off of here, we're gonna talk about part 2. So yeah. And they loving you over here too. They loving you. I was getting to it, I promise you. No, you wasn't. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Make sure to tell your friend to tell a friend. Okay. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Don't you go nowhere, but they gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta get out of here. So I see you guys on the next
Thank you for tuning in to the Successful Toy Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. You can also watch us on Facebook Live. If you prefer to listen, find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Listening Notes, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. See you in the next episode. Bye.